Hi, I wanted to make this one-to-one video for something that came up in church today that I think I wanted to express but wasn't ready to express, and I didn't feel it was the right time to express. Today we spoke about Sabbath and how special Sabbath is, how God wants us to follow Sabbath, and the importance of Sabbath, how biblically it has been important, and so forth. And I totally understand all of it and agree with it. However, when I didn't know about Sabbath, the true significance of Sabbath, and I was Catholic and other denominations, I realized that in spite that I wasn't following Sabbath the way it's supposed to be followed, you know how a lot of people explain the letter of the law, that they don't follow the letter of the law, but they follow the spirit of the law? Even though I was ignorant to the Sabbath and why it was followed and the details and so forth, I felt that all along I followed the spirit of Sabbath. Let me explain. I realized that Sabbath is our moment to interact with God, to a day for Him, a day to appreciate all the blessings and all His love. When I was Catholic, let me go back. That was a day to be one with God. You felt His Spirit, the feeling of His love, the messages that He had to give, the blessings of being with family and interacting with family that day, and the tranquility and the love that, in spite maybe members of the family weren't into going to church and so forth, I've always had a moment that Sunday when I would come back from church, reunite with family, and we would have either breakfast or lunch together. That included my father. So the spirit of Sabbath is the union within families, not just our own families, but other families, the partaking and being together, being united, being loved, and being respected, even though maybe some people didn't really feel comfortable in going to church for whatever reason. We were united together in eating and conversing, and even if the rest of the week we were busy, that day would be the day that we would be together. And yes, I didn't follow it on Saturday, but on Sunday, that was my special day. That was my special day to be with my family. That was my special day to eat together. Um, that was my special day to talk about something that was said in church that hit a point. Um, just updating everyone on how my church family at that time were doing, and I'm praying for them in spite of it all. So, Sabbath was planted in me long before I became an Adventist. Being Catholic, I was in the typical follower, you can say, of the religion, because a lot of the policies and so forth I didn't agree with. Um, I didn't understand why until I grew older and started learning more on the Bible, on the history of Christianity and so forth. And I realized the reasons why I wasn't in agreement, total agreement with the policies and the rituals and the regulations of the Catholic Church. But that was my basis where I created a sanctuary for myself to communicate with God, and that's where my singing came from. And my dedication to God, that every time I sang, it was praying twice for Him. And I could sing anywhere, and I would dedicate it to Him to help my fellow brothers and sisters. That was my way of prayer. So I would pray every day with one song or another, thinking of someone and hoping that they would be okay. So, in changing my ways after becoming an Adventist and sharing Sabbath, the spiritual aspect of Sabbath should be built on love and union amongst families, our own families and our spiritual families. It should be a day to interact with each other and just find out how each other is truly feeling, and building up a relationship of the past week and all its issues and problems, as well as all these wonderful experiences, to share it, to share it and give it up to God, and to take the moment that day and just allow the Spirit of the Lord to go within you. Take the moment that day to do that, even if it's by looking up in the sky at the sun and the blue skies and saying, God made it good. Looking up in the ocean and seeing the tranquility of the waters and the beautiful, vibrant colors of the ocean and say, God made it good. Or looking at a child and seeing the child laugh and smile at you and said, God made it good, and say thank you. So I know the rituals that are in other religions and the I guess the belief system and so forth in other religions goes against the Adventist belief, and etc. But I I was looking for a place that I could continue my journey that I had when I was Catholic, and also when I was in other Christian denominations after that, but where the spirit of love exists, and the spirit of love existed when I entered Yahwehga, and the spirit of love continued to exist when I visit Yahwehga. But I haven't forgotten the spirit of love that I had created before my life in Yahwehga, and that I wanted to continue doing and growing. Now I just have a different way. I'm learning a different way. I'm learning new steps. But the spirit of love is still in me, and is remembered by those memories, beautiful memories that I've had before, and then beautiful memories that I'm making now. So this is what I wanted to express today, but I just couldn't. I guess I wasn't feeling well. I was starting to feel sick. I think the air conditioning was affecting me again, just like it's been affecting me at work. And I couldn't come out, and I couldn't explain it in Spanish. This is something that I had to explain in English, where the words would come out. But the importance of Sabbath and following Sabbath is the spirit of love. The spirit of love that Jesus shared when he lived, and that he showed us through healing others, through teaching others, through all his love and his loving actions he shared with us when he lived, and the loving aspect that we hope to receive, that we will receive when we're with him in heaven. So that's the real meaning in my headspace. The real meaning of Sabbath for me is the spirit of love. Thanks, guys. Bye.